TD Mattie McGrath was in the Dáil tonight. Remember, the vote in the Dáil, by the way, for the hate crime legislation was 70 to 52. Mattie McGrath was there, one of those people who voted against it. Mattie, good evening to you. How are you?
Good evening, Alan.
Very disappointing night for a government who said they were going to leave this piece of legislation to the next term of government, but seemingly not.
Well, it's quite obvious they're not working for the Irish people anymore. They're working for the agenda of the World Economic Forum and some other forces out there that want one world order or wants, all that kind of stuff. Minister pointed out, Minister McIntyre, that we were one of the last outliers that didn't have this legislation passed. So they're obviously operating to different paymasters. They don't respect the Irish people. They want to control us all and keep us all, obeying subjects.
What was your objection to it? You said, I know you were quoted as saying it was a vanity project for the minister. A baked vanity project is what you said, or half-baked vanity project. What was your main objection to the hate crime element of the legislation?
Because it's totally subjective. There's no substance to it. I mean, if you were stopped tonight going home for whatever misdemeanor, you get your day in court and you can have evidence to prove that you were right or you were wrong, and depends on the judge. This case is somebody, Durban Lum or Durban Leahy, a man told me that a woman told her that I was talking tonight in some place, and I was talking hate speech, and they thought I was, and they can actually report it to the guard, and the guard can charge you. You don't have the right to prove your innocence, and it's totally subjective. There's no thing that of evidence. I mean, if two lads on the street tonight, brain now, two fellas have a fracas on the street, and they can wallop each other, and the guard intervene, and then if one of them says, "Oh, he accused me of a hate crime," I think the guard can take his word. He won't charge him for misdemeanor. He might caution him and let him up with a warning, but he can go off and bring a prosecution.
But the government's argument, Mattie, is that we're the last country. I don't believe that, by the way. We're one of the last countries to bring in legislation to protect minorities against hatred. Now, I find it difficult because, of course, nobody seems to understand what the definition of the word hatred is, including the minister herself, who doesn't have an actual definition of the word hatred. She said she would leave it to the Attorney General, who indeed said he didn't have a definition of it either, and he said we leave it to the courts and a jury. So it all seems a bit, vague, to be honest with you.
You wouldn't make it up. I don't think you're going to have jury courts. It's just a district court. I could be wrong on that now, but look, this minister is the most inept minister for justice. And I think
but she's just been promoted as the deputy leader of Fine Gael.
I was going to say that, and 19, 18 out of 35 have jumped ship like people jumping off the Titanic. So I mean, there's something major coming down the road, and I think they obviously feel that some people like Heather Humphreys and Michael Ring, who said they were far too left for far too long. This is not Fine Gael policy. This is policies of Mad Looney left. Mm-hmm. So I mean, look, it's there. As I said at the outset, the paymasters must be the WEF and people in Europe. I mean, the Taoiseach has spent 500,000 on flights all over Europe for private jets. He couldn't even book the government jets.
Well, I think it's over £1 million now in 6 months. Yeah, but it's in a ridiculous amount of money. I know Sinn Féin brought that up in the Dáil there today or yesterday. In relation to going forward now, there's going to be an election. I imagine it's probably going to be called in the next couple of days. We're also seeing a government, it seems, that don't seem to care what the people think anymore, because as far as I can see, they seem to believe they're a shoe-in.
They believe they're invincible, and that's a very dangerous.
Well, they are, aren't they? They kind of are a shoe-in, because there isn't really alternatives for the people. I mean, when you look at American politics, you have a choice between a liberal or a conservative government. Whereas in Ireland, you don't have that choice anymore. The political parties, with the exception of Ain 2, maybe in Independent Ireland, and independent TDs like yourself, there is no conservative government anymore. They're all left-leaning or liberal-leaning.
Well, it's funny tonight that Independent Ireland, you mentioned, never came in to speak on this debate.
That disappoints me. That disappoints me greatly, Mattie.
Sorry?
That disappoints me.
Yeah, of course. None of them turned up to speak. They were supposed to.
I looked at a picture earlier on when you were talking, and it looked like there was about 8 people in the place, including Rodrigo Gorman and Helen McAtee, by the way. So what was the story there? Where were they? Where was everybody?
Oh, yeah. And then if you count the vote, I think, 70 to 50, that's far short of 166. So abstaining, sitting on the bench like independent Ireland, hiding in their offices, hadn't the guts to come in and oppose it. So I'm happy I opposed it. I believe that it's a fundamentally flawed legislation. I quoted actually
It was also opposed by Peadar Tobin and Danny Healy-Rae, by the way.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
And in fairness, all six rural independents voted against it, but I'm making the point that the Commissioner has said time out of number that he had enough legislation to deal with hate speech. It's totally unnecessary, but we're operating to an agenda that is not for the Irish people, and it's against the Irish people, and it's for people that are controlling it from abroad.
Okay, so just finally before you go, Mattie, and I'm sorry for ringing you so late. We thought we might have caught you on the way home anyway. In relation to the election, when do you predict it'll be? Will it be the 29th of November?
No, I have a funny feeling it will go to the 6th because
the 6th of December.
This top Taoiseach doesn't want to. And in fairness, it's the Taoiseach's prerogative to call it, but he's not happy that that Minister Roger Farmer and February 29th. Martin wanted the 6th, and I think Simon Harris, the Taoiseach, wanted the 22nd. So I think he'll go back to the 6th.
The 6th of December, yeah.
And they might, 6th of December, people might say that's a high show, but like.
But would that suit the government? A nice cold day where those swing voters or those voters who are undecided won't bother coming out to vote.
And why I say that is because the double payments will be out and little big buys will play with small ties that day as well. So everybody on the social welfare will be happy with their double payments and they might give the government a vote. All right, well listen, Mattie, thank you very much indeed. And by the way, on behalf of the people who oppose the hate speech and hate crime laws, I suppose I should thank you for standing up against it, like the other 52 people or the other 51 people who did. Thank you very much. Just a more fucking score. The Iranian party is that Sinn Féin had a row with us tonight. We called the vote against it. They hit two Healy-Rae brothers and myself. Sinn Féin never called it. Then they insisted being a terror. So they're flip-flopping over it. They're not really against it at all. They were just playing games.
Mm-hmm. All right, listen, thank you very much indeed, TD Mattie McGrath. I appreciate you coming on to talk to us tonight. Just very quickly before